You're listening to Bookmarked, a young adult book podcast brought to you by SeventhPage.com.
Divergence will destroy our society. Find them.
This is our fight. There's no turning back now.
I'm not afraid.
That's fine.
Cool, let's go ahead and begin. Welcome to Bookmarked. You're listening to episode 2, and today is going to be a really cool episode because it's all about Insurgent, the movie. The movie just came out. All three of us have seen it. We haven't even talked to each other yet about what we thought about the movie, so I know we're all really excited to share our thoughts on it. And yeah, this is going to be a shorter episode, so we're just going to go ahead. We're not going to do any news or anything like that today, but we're just going to go ahead, skip straight to that main discussion, which is, again, the Insurgent movie. Before we do that, we do want to talk about this giveaway that you should have hopefully seen on Twitter by now, if you're listening. And what that is it's going to be a signed copy for a Divergent collection. So it's signed by Veronica Roth, and I've had it for, almost well, no, that book came out in the summer. I've had it since the summer. I've had it for a really long time, waiting to give it away to somebody. So we're going to be giving that away, and the way that's going to work is you're going to go to for.factionhub.net, and when you get there, you're going to find a webpage where you have to enter a password to access a raffle copter giveaway. And once you do that, you can tweet and follow 7th Page and stuff, and you'll be able to enter. But in order to get to that, you have to have the password. So we're going to be giving the password away sometime during this episode. So yeah, we're going to make you listen to the episode to get the password.
Listen.
But that's the way it's going to work. And yeah, so just keep on listening. We're going to give away the password, and then you can enter to win a copy of For Divergent Collection. I should mention that it is US only, so if you're listening internationally, I'm sorry. I just don't have the money to send that across seas or anything, so it's going to have to be US only. But yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's go through. Just go ahead and start talking about Insurgent.
Right.
So what I want to do is really quickly, without any... Oh, wait. I didn't even mention that who's on the podcast today. I feel so bad. Okay, why don't you two go ahead, quick introductions.
Okay, I'm Lucy. I'm from New Zealand. I'm 15, and I'm from thefifthwave.net, and that's me.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Addie. I'm from California, and I'm a writer for 7thpage.com.
Awesome, and yeah, I'm Saul, and I'm also at 7thpage.com. Okay, so really quickly, why don't we start with you, Lucy? Just seriously, 10 seconds. Did you like it or not? Just yes or no. Just that's all we want to hear right now. No, you didn't like it.
No, I did
all
not
right.
at all.
Okay, Addie.
Can I give a maybe?
A maybe? You're not sure yet?
Sort of.
Sort of. Okay, that's
Sort
fair.
of.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I liked it. But it has serious issues.
Yes.
And we're going to definitely talk about this. So since Lucy's 100% firm that she dislikes this movie, go ahead, Lucy. Tell us what was bad about this movie then. Why did you dislike it?
Because I walked in there and I had read so many reviews about it before I saw it, and there was one in particular that said, go into the movie forgetting what happened in the book, and I totally agree with it because I sat there the whole time and I looked at my friend and I said, is this Insurgent? This is the movie I'm watching, right? I paid money for this. It was so unfaithful to the book, and I just don't like it when that happens, and I was really looking forward to this because Insurgent was my favorite book from the series, and then they just ruined the movie for me. I just didn't enjoy it at all.
Okay.
100% unfaithful to the book. Yeah.
What about you, Addie? What did you think about it?
Well, part of the reason why I said sort of was because when I went to see the movie, I hadn't specifically avoided seeing any reviews. And so I'm like, okay, kind of went with an open mind. but half the time I felt confused. I'm like, this isn't what was in the book. I'm like, what part of the book is this? And I kept expecting like certain parts of the book, like, to happen. I'm like, wait, why isn't it happening now? What's supposed to happen? But as a movie overall, I guess it was good, but it was just kind of really, it was like 40% faithful to the book.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm definitely with you. I think especially walking out of the theater, I had the exact same feelings as you. I wasn't sure what to think about it. I feel like as a movie, it's really good, actually. Well, it's not one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. But as a movie, it's solid enough, and I felt like it was better quality than the first one. But as far as an adaptation goes, it's really lacking. And so one of the big things I noticed, because I actually reread the Insurgent a week ago in preparation to see the movie, and so one of the things that I noticed was a lot of the stuff that was in the movie is in the book. It's just that they really chopped it down in the movie. They took a lot of things out, and they kind of like changed the order in which they happen. And I think it's all like that except for the ending. What were you going to say, Lucy?
They also they just made everything around that stupid box thing as well. Like that's what they did. The whole half of pretty much 40 minutes of the movie was dedicated to trying to figure out what the hell the box was and what was inside it and how to open it. And I got really disappointed with it.
Yeah.
Because it was 40 minutes that they could have had on different plot and stuff. So.
Yeah. I agree, because I remember a couple of us were talking about it on Twitter about what it could be, and I'm not going to spoil the movie for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but, it's kind of super obvious, and, when, the box came into play, and, 10 minutes into the whole box plot, I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what we talked about online, I was like, it's kind of really obvious now, and I feel like they spent way too much time on the box instead of, like Tobias and For and his dad's relationship, or just things like that. And I have to say, I kind of have to disagree with you on Saul. With I feel like the first movie was a bit. I think I didn't like Insurgent as much because I felt like it was a lot of CGI. Everything. Yeah. I feel like 60% of the movie was CGI background.
Yeah. Definitely.
No, I see what you're saying, because they do focus a lot on the box, and that's where the CGI really comes in, is when she's going through those simulations and stuff. I just felt like cinematography-wise, it was better. I actually really liked the script a lot better than the first one, too. When I saw the first one, I don't know, there were just some really cheesy things that kind of made me cringe. And I didn't really get that this time from this movie, so I appreciated that. But yeah, there are definitely big issues with this movie. I'm with you guys that the box I'm not a huge fan of the box. But I see what they tried to do. Because in the book, there is this mystery that goes throughout the book where Janine has some information. She has a secret, right? And they want in fact, there's a part where Marcus convinces Triss to save Janine so he can get or so they can have the information, right? They kind of you can tell where they got the idea from the box. The box is sort of supposed to be like a physical representation of that information. But the problem was, I feel like when they did that, they lost the whole mystery aspect of it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because the whole time they're like, what is it that Janine wants to figure out? And then in the movie,
they just got straight into it.
Yeah, she got straight into it. And so it took away a lot of that mystery. And also, can we talk about Marcus, because he plays a huge role throughout in Insurgent, and he's pretty much not in this movie. What did you guys notice about Marcus?
I feel like he was in the entire film for 2 minutes, and I feel like that's saying too much time on screen. That's kind of I was really annoyed, because we see in the book, Thor has this kind of internal war with, should I go with my mother or, side with my father? He's kind of stuck in the middle, and there's none of that in this film. Marcus is there for 30 seconds at most, and then towards the end we see a glimpse of him, and that's it.
Yeah.
Is he in the end?
Yeah, that.
And of the movie, he they at the end of the movie there's a glimpse of him, and
there
that's
is? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
It was like 2 seconds of his face, though. It wasn't like a long, like, this is Marcus, here he is. It was like a Marcus, then gone.
Yeah.
I missed that because
wasn't-
what I couldn't understand was in the beginning he kind of like sacrifices himself so they can get away, which was kind of I guess it makes sense with his intentions and his motivations that he would have sacrificed himself like that. But what I wasn't sure was when they shot him, if they just shot him with like a serum or if they actually like killed him. And I didn't catch that he was in the ending at all, so I was thinking maybe they just killed him right then and there. But you guys are saying he was in the ending, so I guess he's still there.
Yeah.
Because it was just really.
Sorry, Lucy?
I mean, he is an Allegiant as well. Isn't he? He's an Allegiant as well, isn't he? Like, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel there was a lot of I mean, I kind of like the script of the first film more because there's a lot more of that, like, I know that, the entire series is kind of, like, serious, but there's, like, those, like, lighthearted, funny moments that are in the book that just, like, I don't know, like, helps the movies flow along. And, for example, when Triss is kind of, all hippy-dippy flowy on the Amity bread.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't put that in.
Exactly. That was kind of what I was so forward to that. But I feel like there was just a lot that was, okay, maybe they didn't have to put it like in word by word in the film, but a lot of elements from the book should have been in the film, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
No, actually, I wanted to talk about that because one of the things I noticed about this, because, like I said, I do prefer Insurgent as a movie to Divergent, but one of the things I did notice was that there weren't a lot of lighthearted moments in this movie. There weren't a lot of opportunities to just kind of like take a breath and laugh. And even like in something like Catching Fire, which is, in my opinion, a bit more intense of a movie and storyline, I mean, I was laughing my head off in some of those scenes.
Yeah.
And we didn't have those here in Insurgent.
Yeah.
And having just read the book, I actually got the impression, and I heard the people that were sitting next to me and in front of me in the theater, this seemed a lot more violent. The movie seemed a lot more violent than the book was.
I feel like...
And definitely than the first one. What do you guys think about that?
I feel like definitely... I think they pushed and I'm not going to, like, say... I mean, 'cause we've all seen the movie, so I think if I describe it enough, you guys will know what I'm talking about. When Triss says to someone, go upstairs and don't come down until they come and get you. I think that was pushing the envelope when it comes to violence. And I don't know if that was kind of like to like force or give the audience this is how serious Janine is about this entire thing. But I think they kind of pushed the envelope on this one a bit as far as violence. Yeah. I mean, I know there was a lot. I mean, we saw a lot more people getting shot and like a lot more blood actually shown in the first film. But I think this one just like with that little moment, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So are you saying it was the fact that they used a little girl for that?
Yeah, I feel like because I mean, in the book, I think was it the only I think in the books, I mean, I may be wrong. In the books, the only kids that actual children that we see get endangered like that, is when Janine is controlling them to jump.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, there is the scene in Insurgent in the book. If I remember how it plays out correctly, the Dauntless traders come in, and they end up shooting a girl. I don't know if it was specified the age of the girl. I don't know if they specified the age of the girl though, but they do end up shooting a girl, I think. And then Triss does find a girl, and she tells her to like escape. And I think
I remember that
was supposed to be the little girl that ended up being in the movie. But yeah, definitely the little girl. I would say it was the part where Eric is holding the gun to her head in the room.
Yeah, that was intense. That was
that was actually really intense. And thank goodness, I'm assuming nothing happened to the little girl. You don't actually see her after Triss knocks Eric over.
No, I don't think anything does happen to her because Triss, kind of like tackles him.
Yeah.
I think at most, I think he's like traumatized and like just like has a couple of bruises from being shoved to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't think anything actually happens to the little girl.
Yeah. There were a couple other things that I remember. Oh, I remember what it is that I thought was super, like, whoa. there's that scene where Janine has the Amity woman going through the Divergent box simulations, and she just dies, and this blood's coming out. So like that was another part where I remember thinking like, wow, this is pretty violent. I don't know. I feel like one of the things that they were trying to do, and this is totally assumption. I have no idea if this is actually factual, but one of the things the impressions I got from this movie was that they were trying to appeal not just to the fans, but they were really trying to make this an action movie, a really cool action movie that regular people would like to see, not just the book lovers. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, I mean, there were moments there that the fans could enjoy, but I feel like the whole movie, they spent too much time like trying to think, what if this audience was going to watch? How do we pull them in with this idea? Which led more off the book, and then like those ideas just got lost as well. Like they would just go nowhere, and then there'd be like a loose end at the end of the film. Like, wait, what happens now? Like, what is going to happen to that person, or what's going to happen in this moment in time to that character? And it kind of ruined the plot as well. Like trying to change it and make it more actiony, because that's not what happens. And I have a thing with Triss when in the book she doesn't touch a gun, like in Insurgent at all until like the last quarter of the book, and then at the start of the film she's already got this like gun in her hand. Like it was in the trailer as well. I noticed that and I was like, that does not happen. Like she's too scared to hold a gun. Like, and that kind of made me quite upset, because that was the part of Triss that I liked, the fact that she was still able to act like weak inside, but like, and that just kind of bugged me a little bit with that. So.
Veronica Roth actually talked about that because a lot of fans noticed that, like you did, and she just kind of said, if I remember correctly, I don't have it in front of me, but she said something like, to her the gun was meant to show the internal conflict that Triss was having, of having shot Will and feeling guilty about the parents' deaths and stuff. So for me, I wasn't as bothered by the gun. Because I feel like that's the purpose it served in the book, and I actually think they did a pretty good job showing that in the movie. She has her nightmares. There's that bit where she's like, in the bed with Four, and Evelyn's right there watching.
I was like,
all of a sudden she turns around and like that was kind of freaky. I felt like they did a pretty good job showing the guilt.
Yeah, and I think also
it was definitely.
I think like because she couldn't pass the Amity sim. And I think they kind of decided to move the whole guilt and fear of the gun and put it into the Amity sim and portray it that way. So that's because throughout, like in the book, she like Lucy said, that she doesn't hold a gun. She's afraid to hold a gun. And when she's in the sim, she's like, I'm afraid. She's like, I'm scared. She's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And as for like, I feel like it was a good action movie. There's a lot of action in it, and I have to admit, I did like I thought some of the action scenes were, pretty damn cool. But I actually read a couple of reviews this morning, and they weren't exactly favorable. But I think I read one that said, they should have just, instead of splitting the last book into 2 films, they should have just had the first 2 books made into 1 film.
I think the biggest change in Insurgent was the ending.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I have to agree, because let me just say this really quickly. When at the end I thought I saw, all the Divergents walking out, but then everybody's like masks walking together towards the edge. I'm like, that doesn't exactly happen.
Yeah, and it's still in like Allegiant, like not halfway through, maybe like a quarter of the way through. Like they're still not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
So when they opened the doors, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I was confused.
Yeah, that's the thing, because from the impression that
confused.
they give in
definitely.
the movie is that everybody is leaving the city, and it's like a really actually hopeful type of ending.
Yeah.
But if you know what happens in Allegiant, there's a conflict within the city with the people and the factionless, and wanting to leave the city, and that drives a lot of Allegiant. That's one of the main conflicts in Allegiant.
Yeah.
And it looks like, I mean, I suppose they could still do it, but it looks like they pretty much resolved that conflict already.
Yeah, it seems too like they like it was fixed way too quick. Like, everybody sees, the announcement that was in the box, and we're all happy and we're all gonna, work together. That's not what happens.
Yeah, because in the book, Tobias, or Thor, whatever you want to call him, that he like broadcasts it without like telling Evelyn, and that's like what in the Allegiant, that's kind of what ticks the faction versus factionless. They didn't actually have like Thor like doing that rebellious like act, like saying, yes, we're going to broadcast this message. It just kind of happened, and I was like, really? Come on, like that kind of ruined that part of like the ending as well. Like that ending will not lead into Allegiant well.
Well, I don't
know how they're going to do it now. So
because I'm not going to spoil the ending, but we saw that last scene, and I think that's what's sort of going to drive. Or I think that's how I feel like the next movie, that's how it's going to lead into the whole faction versus factionless tension, because the factionless just sort of took over without letting anybody else know.
Yeah.
I think that's where they're going to play the conflict between each other.
So you're saying that you think they're still going to be able to pull off the faction versus factionless thing?
I think that's how the way that the film was made. I think that's how they decided to go into it. Like, this happens instead of what happens in the book. We talked about, they changed what happened in the book to the movie. So I'm guessing that's what they're going to do. This happened, and that's what's going to lead. Because if you think about it, the last scene involved, the leaders of each group.
See what you're saying? Yeah, I hope so, because and if I'm being completely honest, I wasn't a huge fan of Allegiant. Not for the reason most people are. There's like if you've read Allegiant, there's one particular thing in Allegiant that happens, and a lot of people are upset over that. I thought that was the best part of the book. But I felt like there was a lot of Allegiant was kind of boring. That was my biggest issue with Allegiant, and I was just kind of worried, or maybe I still am worried, because by resolving a conflict now, I'm just like, what's the big conflict going to be in the next two movies? But I guess like what you were saying there, Addie, like they could still easily create that conflict and keep that going into Allegiant. Yeah. So
they made Caleb such a baby.
I know.
Like, you are completely useless. Like, aren't you supposed to be smart? You're an erudite. Come on. I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, you might as well just be a wall.
Oh my god. I agree though, like in the book, like I just got I was mad at him, and then in the film I was just like, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of irrelevant in this film, like that's all I could think. Was like,
he actually almost seemed more sympathetic in the film. No. During the parts where the trials are going on with Triss, he almost looks like he regrets it.
But then he doesn't.
And aside from thinking, like, you're kind of useless throughout this whole film, Kayla, I'm like, this makes me even more mad about what happens in Allegiant.
I know.
It's not the first time. I'm like, no. I'm just done with you, Caleb.
Well, maybe last thing we talk about before we wrap up, because like I said, this is gonna have to be a short episode. Sorry, guys, but I feel like we've said a lot of negative things about the movie. Maybe you only have negative things to say about the movie, and that's totally okay. I wanted to talk about some of the new actors and actresses that were brought onto the film. I was actually impressed with some of them.
I do have one. Okay. So Uriah, he's my favorite character from the book. I love Uriah. Like, oh my goodness, Uriah. And then when they found out that they cast, like, how do you say his name? Is it Kanan?
I think it's Kanan.
Kanan? Okay, Kanan Lonsdale.
He was on this TV show, because he's Australian, so he's on this TV show, and it's like a dance show. And I remember watching a couple of episodes, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, like, this guy's cool. And then he was cast, and I was like, oh my goodness. But then he had, like, I'm not going to spoil it, but he had 10 minutes of film time, like, all up. And what kind of let me down a bit because he was he's my favorite character. Like, I love him. He's like so funny and witty in the books, and he's just like cheeky and like, but at the same time he's like serious. I'm that serious. I can fight. I'm a dauntless. Like, he has that aspect, but like, I feel like if they had let Uriah have more screen time, Kanan could have really, like, he was really good, like, and he could have brought Uriah to life more, and that really, yeah, I just really loved Uriah, and when he walked on, I like squealed, and like the people around me kind of looked at me weirdly, and I was like, it's okay, I'm fine. But yeah,
I was pretty excited when they announced that Kenyon was going to be on, that he was going to be Uriah, because I watched the dance show. And so I was super excited, especially since they cut him out from the first film. And I was super excited. I'm like, he's going to have more screen time. They made this big hype about him, and then he's there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I was really sad.
No, but
not having him in the first one as well, that kind of annoyed me a lot. But
no, that was definitely a big letdown not having him there, and I think that was part of why everyone was so hyped up to see him in this movie. And yeah, it is a shame that we don't see more of him, but what he did do, he was awesome. I think he nailed it.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was also really impressed with Octavia Spencer in Joanna. She's not at all how I pictured Joanna.
I have to agree.
But she does a really good job capturing like that gentle tone of Joanna. I really liked her.
Okay, I have a question about Joanna. I mean, I didn't read the book before. I've read the book, but I haven't read the book recently before I've seen the film. But in the book, did she have the scars that she has?
Yes.
Maybe. Okay, she has a scar. I know in the film she has a scar on the right side of her forehead and on her right cheek, I believe.
Yeah, so I remember seeing those.
I was kind of wondering if that was just like an addition or if I just did not remember reading it in the book.
No, that's part of the book.
Okay. I was like, I feel like there was something that goes on in the third book that relates back to her, and I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
I think you figure out how she gets the scar in the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was actually looking for the scar. I was like, they better have put the scar on her. So yeah, that was in the book.
I also enjoyed, like, just quickly, he's not a new character, like Peter. Like,
Peter.
I felt like Peter, like, Miles Teller brought Peter to life so well from the book, and he got that stupid, like, I don't know what it is about Peter, but that stupid, like, wit that makes you want to strangle him but hug him at the same time. And there were those, that scene, I'm not going to spoil it, but that scene, like, near the end with, I just loved Peter in that scene, and, he was just so funny. Like, I love Miles Teller. What a good actor.
Yeah, I mean, after those, there was an interview that Miles Teller did a while back that kind of, like, made me, not like him as much. And enjoy the film as much. Like, I'm like, I like Peter in the book. I was like, your interview kind of ruined it for me, but I'm gonna keep an open mind. And then I was like, okay. I was starting to like him, and then at the end, this scene that Lucy just mentioned, I'm like, he's like, hey, you know that thing you do?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, yes.
I was like, I was like, honestly, like, so like weirded out by the way the movie was put together. I was like, is he going to do that scene? Because I kind of want him to do that scene. At least let them do this scene. And I was really happy.
And then they did it.
No, I agree. Yeah. Miles Teller did a really good job. And, yeah, regardless of what he said several months ago, I remember what he said.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he said during that interview, I think he does a fantastic job as Peter. He really catches the cockiness, but also what you see in this movie, the remorseful side of So
yeah, definitely.
I feel like you see more of the internal conflicts going on in him in this film, which I think will make him like a bit more sympathetic in the next film.
Yeah, Peter was definitely a high point for me in that film. In Insurgent, he was definitely a good aspect to the film, and I was happy that they included that scene at the end because that was great.
Yes, that was hilarious. I laughed at. I was like the only one here who laughed at that scene.
Really? That's too bad. There were a lot of old people in my theater, but even they were cracking up at that scene.
No, I had a bunch of 8 and 9-year-olds in my theater.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, lesson learned, I will be going to the 8 o'clock showings the night before.
Last two actors I wanted to touch on before we close. Daniel Day Kim does Shotgun, and I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, I thought he
love
was pretty. Can I say badass on? Well,
Yes, go ahead.
I think all of his scenes are pretty badass.
Yeah, definitely.
I absolutely loved those scenes.
Yeah.
No,
Because
he was
is
good.
Daniel
Go ahead, Lucy.
is Daniel Day Kim? He's in Hawaii Five-0.
He's in Hawaii Five-0. He's also, I think he's
Yes.
best known for Lost. He plays Jim
Yeah, definitely.
in Lost.
I just was really excited with that casting. He did a really, really good job, and I enjoyed his scenes thoroughly.
Yeah.
Other person, Octavia Spencer as Evelyn.
No, that's Naomi Watts.
Or wait, did I just say?
Yeah, you said
I said Octavia Spencer. Naomi Watts, yes.
I felt like she was not as I pictured her in the book, but I feel that. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to figure her out still. I mean, I've read all the books, but like the way Naomi Watts did her, I feel was a good job, except for that whole creepy watching them sleep thing.
Well, that was a dream. So.
I know, but it was still like creepy. It was like, ooh, ouch, Evelyn. Like, why would you do that? It sent a few shivers down the spine, that scene. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness it was a dream, because yes, that would have been really Edward status right there. But yeah, I thought she did a good job also with Evelyn capturing the attitude. My only complaint is that she looks like she could be Four's sister. Like,
Yeah.
just age-wise, she's just a little too young, and I had that thought when she was casted. I don't know, like, can you see her and Marcus together?
Well, she did say that she was really young when she left. We don't know exactly how young. So I'm thinking I think that might be like, their explanation for, anybody saying, oh, I don't think she looks old enough to be his mother. But
I also think it has something to do with the fact that Theo James is 30. Like, I'm just going to put that in there. He's 30 years old, and Naomi Watts is about 44, I think. 43, 44. So it's kind of the fact that they are 14. There's like a 14-year age gap as well. So
yeah, I think my only thing about Naomi was I think I think in the book she's described as being like sort of gaunt, like not like sticks, like thick thin. I feel like I don't know. I don't want to say this, and like she looks like she's been in a faction her entire life, and instead of how I feel like the books describe the factionless as having sort of a bit of like a harsh life.
Yeah.
And I feel like, if we had, I feel like if somebody going into the theater sees that scene like of Evelyn's living quarters, I don't think they'd see that she's factionless. I think they think what random faction is this?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to stop the conversation there. I'm too poor. I can't afford to do a longer episode. But I think we got a pretty good discussion in still.
Yeah.
Before we do go, obviously the promised password to enter the 4 Divergent giveaway. So how you get there, you're gonna have to go to 4.factionhub.net. So Faction Hub is our Divergent website, and 4, you're gonna spell it out. You're gonna spell out the word or the name. 4, obviously, for Tobias Eaton. So 4.factionhub.net, you're going to see a place where you can put in a password. The password is going to be one word. I mean, it's 2 words, but you have to spell it as one word. And the password is scary boyfriend.
Yes.
Love that.
I feel like that works for a 4 Divergent collection. So
that works.
Scary boyfriend, one word. In case you don't know how to spell that, SCARYBOYFRIEND, just like that. So when you get there, put that in. You're going to see a raffle copter giveaway, and from there you'll be able to do things like follow 7th Page or Faction Hub, like us on Facebook, tweet things, and by doing that you'll be able to enter the contest. And again, just sorry, but it's US only. That's all I can afford as far as shipping goes. We obviously talked about our thoughts and feelings on Insurgent. If you're listening and you disagreed on something, or maybe you just want your voice to be heard, you can actually we now have a blog up for the podcast. You can go there and there is a contact form and you can type in your review or your thoughts on Insurgent and we will be happy to read that on air. You just go to bookmarked.seventhpage.com. That's where you'll find our blog, and there should be a link on the left hand where you will find the contact form, and you can go ahead and just send that over, and we'll read that. Other than that, I think that's it. Any last words?
Cool. Go see Insurgent, but keep an open mind when you go into it. That's all I'm going to say.
I have to agree.
Keep an open mind.
I have to agree. Keep an open mind. Enjoy it as a movie. And yeah, just let us know what you think about the film.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thanks especially to Addie and Lucy for being here with us today. And we hope to hear from you guys soon. Again, we're not entirely sure how it's scheduled yet on these podcasts, but we're definitely planning on some more in the future. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.